by film.
5,
Stand by music.
4,
Stand by announce.
3, 2, 1.
And fade up.
Sneaky little Orbitses.
Spider-Man, hero or menace?
Dear Indugo.
Dobby the house elf.
Who holds sway over the 5 points?
I swear to God, I'll pistol whip the next guy that says shenanigans.
This is my family.
There's a hole in this cake.
You concur?
I'm a bloody island. I'm bloody Ibiza.
How about new, you crazy Dutch bastard?
Well, welcome everyone to a brand new episode of 20 Years, 4 Beers. We are a podcast dedicated to rewatching movies from 2 decades ago, while simultaneously enjoying a minimum of 4 modern beers. My name is Steve, and this is my big brother,
Tim.
And we are coming to you from Minneapolis, Minnesota. On this episode, we are kind of having a second happy hour, since we have just recorded the episode on We Were Soldiers, which was the happy hour episode to Star Wars Episode 2 Attack of the Clones. So we're going to call this our last call episode.
Okay, last call, you two.
I'll take a tequila and condensed milk, please. I'm meeting a friend here tonight, Mr. Al K. Hall.
I like that.
And in honor of the start of baseball season, we are talking about 2002's The Rookie. The Rookie is a story of a small-town Texas high school baseball coach who discovers that his once-dead dream of pro pitching may yet be possible. His long-suffering team convinces him that if they become winners, he must try out for the minors, and against all odds, they win. And this mid-30s family man sets out to finally fulfill his boyhood dream of becoming a major league pitcher.
You don't have dreams, you don't have anything.
Coach, what about you? I mean, you talk about our dreams. Joe, I've been catching yours.
You're not talking about me.
Yeah, come on, Coach. Every time you throw, I gotta ice my hand. Every time. You're the one who should be wanting something more.
And the sad part is, we see it and you don't.
I've had my shot, all right? Just, look, we got practice tomorrow. Let's go.
So you take another shot.
It doesn't work like that.
It does if you throw hard enough.
I don't throw hard enough, all right? Now let's hit the showers. Come on.
No, wait a minute. We start winning, you try out again.
The film is directed by John Lee Hancock, written by Mike Rich, starring Dennis Quaid, Rachel Griffiths, Jay Hernandez, Brian Cox, Beth Grant, and Angus T. Jones. You actually have never seen this. You had never seen this, right?
No, it's the first time I watched it this week.
So I have seen it. I don't really have any memories, so we'll kind of skip on to the off of that. So our first segment, as usual, is Drinking Buddies.
Come on, not my fucking beer.
Where we talk about the 4 beers we had, 2 each. And just like on our last episode, we each brought the other one of our beers that we had. So I had 2 watching this, you had 2, and then we're now having the other one.
Yeah.
So you went first last time, so I'll go first this time. My 2 beers were Drastic Measures Electric Head. It's a tropical smoothie sour. It's like a tropical sour. I really love it. It's a 4.5 out of 5 for me. It rivals we've talked Sticky Puddles in the past out of Lupulin. It's tart. Like it's really tart. Like it's pretty strong. I think it's an Imperial as well. So I mean it's there. But I like it a lot, so we might have it later. I'll be curious what you say.
Cool.
And then the other one is out of Un-A.
Well, that's the brewery.
Yeah, out of Un-A Brewing.
From Niles, Illinois.
From Niles, Illinois. I'm going to assume that's right. I'll find out soon if it's not.
Un-A?
Un-A. We've had them in the past. They're Hubbard's Cave Fresh Mosaic. I like it a lot. That's the one you're having now. I actually had a 4.25 to 4.5. Fresh mosaics are hard to come by. You don't really find them, and they're really hard to come by this time of year.
Yeah, I agree.
So I was like, oh, I'm going to get that. And I think it's a double, right?
It is a double IPA.
Right. So, I mean, it's kind of unique in a sense of you see a lot of fresh beers in the fall, but not a lot of fresh doubles and not a lot of fresh double mosaics. So I liked it though. I have a 4.25 to 4.5, kind of depending on how it was. So what do you think? Not a fan?
No. I am. But it has a weird, like, ground chopped up grass, like, hint to it to me, which I guess would be fresh hop. Like,
French.
Yeah.
Oh, fresh. Sorry. Yeah.
Fresh.
A French hop. Oh, okay.
It's not bad. I guess a Mosaic to me is my favorite hop. So I'm still mulling it over.
Yeah.
I
It's
might
got
have
a
to come back.
4.18 average on
That seems-
Untapped. Like, that's why I bought it.
That
and I was
seems
like,
high to me.
If
But
you're familiar with Untapped, anything over 4 even is usually like, you can't get Americans to agree about a damn thing. So to get them at 4.25 or 4, like, that's a lot. So I had to buy it for that reason.
And it is a month, so it's still fresh. Like it's not. I feel torn. I like it. I do. But it's not. I was expecting more like a cleaner. Fresh
I
hop.
definitely think. Yeah, it's more. That's where I think the double comes into play. Like it is more of a hefty beer, and I think if it were a single, I'd appreciate it more.
Yeah. I'd say like a 4.
What'd you have?
I had Castle Danger from Two Harbors, Minnesota. Their Aurora Haze New England IPA. I had a 3.5 for that. It was decent. It was a different kind of style for them as far as just a single hopped IPA. Not too sweet from like a hazy. It was just more of a New England. So when they say Aurora Haze, I'm like, it's just more of a New England IPA. No socks were knocked off, but it was it's fine. Like there's stuff from Castle Danger
across the board from Castle Danger for me. There's a few that are really great, but most of them I'm like, okay.
Yeah, like their stout, I really like the George Hunter one, but outside that, which also it's a regular stout, but it's 8%. It's like hello, but overall, I find them to be enjoyable. Then I had Indeed Brewing out of Minneapolis, their Giant for a Day double IPA. For me, I had a 4. It was a nice, clean double IPA, just a solid type of like old school IPA vibe to it, the double, which was good.
I agree. I have a 4 as well. There's nothing fancy about it.
Nope.
But I almost rated a 5 because normally Indeed is shit. So, like, I almost want to really.
Outside of Let It Ride. Let It Ride
is good.
But I agree. The rest is, although the pistachio cream ale.
Yeah.
In the summer.
You lose me on pistachio, man. It's not my thing. It's not my jam.
Okay.
I'm not a big.
But I agree. Overall.
Cream ale, it's not my thing.
No.
All right. Well, then our next segment is the social network.
If you guys were the inventors of Facebook, you'd have invented Facebook.
Where we take a look back at the critical and fan reception from 20 years ago. And as usual, now, Tim is going to take point on these reviews. So, Tim, what do you got?
IMDb rating was 6.9 out of 10, which I guess was higher than I expected, but not lower. I mean,
still higher than Star Wars, so we're fine.
That's the benchmark in a bad way. Social Network, sorry, you can cut that. Scott Tobias of AV Club said, though director Hancock traffics in a lot of bogus small-town sentiment, The Rookie exhibits a refreshingly honest understanding of baseball as a job, with long road trips away from home and a workmanlike routine. Rex Reed, the Observer, said a sports film with feel-happy appeal for all, regardless of age or interest. Liked it. I was surprised by this one. Roger Ebert, only 2 out of 4 stars, said The Rookie is comforting, even soothing, to those who like the old songs best. It may confuse those
That's him, by the way.
I know. It may confuse those who, because they like the characters, think the movie is good. It is not good. It is skillful. This might be the most pretentious statement I think he's ever written coming up here. No, but learning the difference between good movies and skillful ones is an early step in becoming a savvy moviegoer.
Shove that Pulitzer
and I was
Prize
like,
square up your ass.
What are you? I love you, Roger. You were always like one of the most like accessible. Love talking about, but I was like, you snobby son of a bitch.
That's awful.
Like just to what?
It
Anyway.
totally undersells the movie. Anyway.
Yes.
Like, did you read these before you saw the movie, or did you read them after?
I watched the movie.
Okay, yeah.
And then found them today afterwards, and I'm like,
yeah, that's dirty.
It just felt gross.
No.
I was not happy with that. And he said other ones that are dumb, like the Lord of the Rings one. But anyway, an Academy Awards that year was none.
Yes, that is
no
acceptable.
Surprise. Yep,
it's not that kind of movie.
Nope.
All right, so then We will now jump into our reaction segment that we call High Fidelity.
Top 5 side ones, track ones.
Where we discuss our top takeaways of any kind from rewatching the film. I'm going to let you start off since you had not seen this film. I've seen it many times. I have feelings about this movie. I'm not going to claim that it's my favorite movie ever, but what did you think?
I must say, when we were talking through movies to watch this year, and this was one that you were pining for in a way like, that's right. Like,
yeah,
at least,
I wanted to watch
if we could.
Yep.
And I remember being like, oh my God, really? Because I never saw it. And I'm pretty sure I've always seen it through kind of that lens of the typical Disney live action fare of like Miracle or other ones.
Remember the Titans or Miracle or this?
All of them kind of like
perfect.
But I honestly don't know that I ever really knew what it was about outside of like a baseball thing. But I gotta say, sometimes these unabashedly wholesome movies are just a welcome change from the usual stuff I watch.
If you can see me, my arms are raised out of complete and total justification.
He's so gleeful. I honestly I can't remember the last non-animated G-rated movie I've ever seen. It's probably been, I guess, like any other insert Disney movie.
Yeah,
but
it would have to be Disney.
It is just pleasant.
Yep.
And I will say, it did help, and I don't know that I really saw it beforehand.
Right.
Based on a true story, otherwise it would have been probably insufferable.
Yeah.
Of feeling like this is so hackneyed and cheesy and just wholesome and wonderful and just all those wonderful Disney stereotypes. But when it said based on a true story, I'm like, okay.
And it's actually really
I had no idea.
Decently adapted from the true story.
Really?
Oh, yeah, we can cover that in a little bit.
So I was pleasantly surprised, I got to say, in terms of, although I guarantee had I watched it 20 years ago, I would have been like, this is garbage and just insufferable. But being a family,
God forbid you ever have a heart.
But it's one of those things of like having it now with a kid and the sacrifice he makes to really achieve this and the support from his wife. And I just, overall, I was thoroughly impressed at how just, I said it before with Big Fat Greek Wedding, it's just delightful.
Yeah.
It's just, I could sit down and watch it with the kids and they can enjoy it, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
So, I'm curious about when this was up on this year kind of a list, and I'm curious about your reaction or how you saw it and everything. So,
well, sometimes for me, to your point about talking about if this isn't based on a true story, it's super cliche.
Totally.
Right? But I think sometimes the sports story doesn't have to be cliche, and sometimes it needs to be, and it works. And I think it works, and it needs to be because it's true.
Yeah.
Like, there aren't a ton. I actually don't think there are a ton of cliches in this movie. It's a pretty straightforward telling of this story.
Yeah.
Like, you get his backstory as a kid, which I think is very effective for this.
Sure.
You don't often see a main character in a Disney sports movie not show up for 25 minutes.
Yeah.
Especially one of, at the time, Dennis Quaid's marketability.
Yes.
Not being said he's in every scene after that. So, I mean, he definitely gets his screen time. I think this was always an example to me for 20 years. Like, remember the Titans, same time, it was 1999, or actually it was 2000. Because we had talked about maybe, we didn't have enough time in our first sort of truncated season. That's a traditional sports story, I think, where it's like a rousing, like crowd pleaser of a film. And Miracle, the other one, is another one too, where that's not what this is. No. This is actually not a crowd pleaser. It's not when there's not a lot of action, even when they win district.
Yes.
It's not even like that big of a thing. Like it's just it's the next sort of step in the story. And I like that. It's just like, there's not a point the entire way through. I don't think you're bored.
Yeah.
There's not a point the entire way through that you're looking at your watch. You're generally not crying, although I did tear up a couple of times because I usually do with fathers and sons and things like that. But, this is such a movie that you can put on, enjoy the hell out of.
Yeah.
And it's not one you're going to watch annually or anything like that, But if somebody were to be like, hey, have you ever seen The Rookie when you want to watch it? I'd be like, hell yeah, I want to watch it with you. This would be great.
Yeah.
This is just that kind of movie to me. So that next.
And I think that to that point was another item that I wrote down was, I agree. I'm not going to lie. I got a little teary eyed when he got called up.
Heck yeah.
And
the way they do it, and that kind of, it's so cool. Yeah.
But it was cliched for that, but also cool, where it's like, oh, you got to tell this other guy that's going up.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, but you're going with him. Like,
yeah. But then when he tells his wife and Hunter, like the kid.
That was the scene where he called her and having, her still support, and he had given up before then.
Mm-hmm.
Said, no, I'm coming home. She's like, no, get 2 more weeks. And then have that happen, called the son. But even then, his son had such an honest reaction of like, that's so great. And then like this, and then a question about this. And like, you see the kids like, I have so much effort and waiting.
What's a devil ray? And he's like, what color are they? Like, he's really,
yes,
that's exactly what a kid
kids like, what it means to the dad. But it was such a reaction of, again, seeing this now than 20 years ago.
Yeah.
What it means to him and the sacrifice that they were all making for him to go through this. And I agree. I definitely teared up. And then when he also then got out of the, I'm gonna call it bullpen, it's not the warm-up area, running across the field.
It's a bullpen. Good for you.
Yeah. Like
sports ball.
Okay.
You're good, yeah.
Running out into the field to pitch. And it was, but what I liked about this movie was it wasn't a forced swelling of orchestra.
Yes,
and the
we're
orchestra.
Talk about music in a little while too, but
yeah. Carter Burwell was so perfect for this, of just understated score, really good moments.
Simple.
Yes, and not like forced emotions where it's like manipulating you as an audience. I totally agree. I was the first half was definitely, I thought, pleasant.
Yeah, it's fine. It's good setup for what you get later. Yep.
And that's where I feel like I know I was reacting to it, because once it gets into the, now he's actually be trying out, and just the humility he must have had with, coming to the people and like trying to try out at 35. Like, anyway, so it got much more serious, but not dark. Not like that, but just more like, just weighted to it that, I was, again, I was thoroughly surprised.
Yeah, I think like what was so great to me about a movie like this is there's no scene where he talks and cries about what could have been. He's not living in the past. He's forced to do this by his students. He is content.
Yes.
In the best possible way I can say that. He's content with the life that he has set up for himself. And it's only at the behest of these like dreamer kids that he's telling them to go dream, but they're pushing back on him that he does this. I mean, I like that. For me, I think this is a forgotten sports movie. And I think I've been talking about it for so long with people. Like, everyone talks about other sports movies, and I'm not going to put it up against Miracle, which I love that movie, or Remember the Titans, or Field of Dreams, or The Blind Side, although I think this is better than Blind Side. But I'm not going to put it up against those movies.
No.
Because it's very different from those.
Yes.
But to me, it's a forgotten sports movie because the best ones aren't really about the sport itself.
Yes.
This is not about baseball. In fact, there's baseball in it, but it's not about baseball. Like,
absolutely.
This is not
totally.
You don't have to know baseball. You don't have to care about baseball. You don't have to do anything. And I think that's what. So, like, Remember the Titans is obviously like analogy or whatever of race relations.
Yes.
Field of Dreams is about fathers and sons and family legacy.
Yes.
Blindside is about family and acceptance. The Rookie is about following your dreams. And I think that's what it's about. Like, you watch that, and if I'm going to tell people about this movie, and they can be like, well, I don't really like sports movies or baseball. I was like, I don't really care.
No.
Like,
yes.
It's not, like, if you watch Tin Cup's about golf.
Yes.
It's funny. I enjoy that movie.
Yes.
Same with Bull Durham that's about baseball. That's about,
absolutely.
Like, minor league baseball, and
baseball.
Major League is one of my favorite sports movies, but that's a great comedy, but it's about baseball.
Yes.
This is not that. And I think that's why, to me, Dennis Quaid is great in this. Like, he's good in that role. Everyone's really good in the role, actually. But, I think it's a forgotten sports movie. When people list off movies, especially in the last 20 or 30 years, I don't think this movie gets enough credit.
I guess it's one of those things of you know what you're getting into. Like when we talked about other podcasts of like Transformers or other ones where, the reviews actually, because I had seen this first and then watched or read the reviews, I was, I guess, expecting more negative reviews from like a cynical review perspective. Yep. And almost across the board, everyone was like, it's just pleasant.
Yeah.
And it's well done.
Roger's like the worst out there, 2 out of 4.
Most of them were like 3 out of 4
when I kind of was looking at
Yes.
Yep.
But to that point of, that kind of experience and the thing, what struck me was watching this where I value movies that are human in that it feels lived in.
Yeah.
Like it didn't have that either over the top or even Remember the Titans has times where it's like that little girl's way too precocious. Like there's no way a kid's like that. Or all these things where, they're well intended, but it's almost heightened.
Yeah.
This had just a slow, not boring, but a slow unveiling of all the family dynamics.
A West Texas small town. It feels like you're exactly in this small town.
It had such a vibrant, lived-in feel. And what I really appreciated was the father dynamic with Brian Cox.
Yep.
Where generationally and the, lack of emotion or connection and all, like he always called him sir.
Yep.
And
he's a military brat. Yep.
Exactly. And that type of element where when he sees him at the ballpark there and he's like, I would have missed it. And he gives him the ball. It's like, all right, here come the waterworks. Like I likened it to in Field of Dreams. He's like, hey, Dad, you want to catch? It's like, dang it.
Yeah.
It sneaks up on you where I was like, oh.
But it's not cheesy.
No.
It really wasn't cheesy. And that actually, there's very little about this movie that I would say is cheesy.
No, I totally agree.
Cliche on some areas, maybe, but like, it never is it ham-handed.
Well, when he walks out afterwards and the whole towns are cheering on him, like, but it's well intended.
But that's payoff at the end.
Yes.
That is not like,
there's
none of those moments halfway through.
Yes.
Right? Like, I believe a lot of those people were there. I don't think it was half the town, but
sure.
That's okay for me at the end of a movie. Like a ham-handed sort of like, I've earned this moment.
Yes.
But so often the you get a lot of those throughout the movie.
Yes.
And you're like, this is preachy at this point.
Yeah. I mean, I believe they like had radio on to listen to the games that he was playing in back home. Like that was great.
He really went to Arlington.
Yes.
In real life. That wasn't like fake for the movie. His Major League debut was in Arlington, Texas, which was 2 hours away from where they were. So, I mean, like, it wasn't that it feels like, and I think that's to your point, is like, if this didn't happen in real life, this would be so stupid.
Yes.
Like just the sheer odds that he would make his debut hours from home is like an impossibility. And yet he actually did it.
Yes.
It's so cool.
Yes.
I love the story.
All the, contrivances of life would feel so forced if it wasn't a thing of like a screenwriter 101 would be like, this is not going to, no, it actually really happened. So I appreciate that.
Yeah.
So.
For like in sports, for those of us who follow it, and this doesn't happen, you like the NFL, but it does not happen in the NFL.
Yep.
It happens in baseball and it happens in hockey pretty much only, where you can be called up at any time and you will make your professional debut anywhere
on a random Tuesday.
And then the family's in the crowd because the team flies them out. You might get a couple people there unless they decide to fly out or they live close. But this one is why I believe that many people or some people would have been there because it is closer to home.
Yes.
They weren't in Seattle. They weren't in. So I like that part of it.
Yep.
I actually don't have a lot of other points. My actually one main negative always has been for 20 years. The whoosh when he pitches is so flipping unnecessary. Just give me the catcher's mitt.
Yes.
If it hits the mitt, I know if it's a good pitch.
Yes.
Even that, I like that with his tryout, right? When he throws that first pitch,
yep.
all these other young kids turn and look.
Yes.
Because you can hear it when it hits the mitt if it's a 90-mile-an-hour fastball. You can tell. The whoosh.
Yeah, the whoosh, whoosh. Yes.
I get it. It's fast.
Yes.
The first couple, fine. But every time,
yes.
It was so annoying to me every time. Like, right, whatever. But that's the Disneyification of things like that. Like that simplification. Like, all right.
That leads me to a bit of a quibble that I have.
Oh, yeah. Right, and there should be some. Like,
there are a lot of scenes like that where they just run on a few seconds too long.
Sure.
Or the repetition is too much, where, you know, they could have cut over time, like an extra glance or the entire team lining up to thank Morris in the locker room. And it cuts to his son smiling like 5 times.
Yeah.
Like, and again, the pitching and the amount of back, like after a while, it's like, we get it that he's got this ability, and it adds a bit more schmaltz that gets kind of, I wouldn't say annoying, but I remember watching me like, okay, you could have cut this.
The pitching in the rain scene for sure.
Yes.
When he's trying out in the rain, and that was aggressively.
It's like 2 hours long.
Yeah, it's
and
2 hours and 10 minutes. Yep.
From
it
a
could
family,
have been under 2.
Yes,
Yep.
it could easily cut out 10 minutes of just over time, these tiny scenes of like the wife looking on lovingly multiple times as he's doing something or back and forth. Like, could have cut that up.
Because anyone with a wife knows they're not looking at me like that.
Maybe once. You might get once.
Especially
yes.
if you have kids.
Yes. All right, I have 2 more things here.
Yeah, I have one more too. But
okay. Dennis Quaid is such an underrated actor.
Yeah.
I think he's got such a ruggedly handsome, everyman quality. Just a solid leading man. I know he's been in lots of stuff, and so it's not like it's something where he's not underappreciated. He's a marquee name back in the day.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, all these things he did, but I feel like also somewhere in a different life, he should have been cast as the Joker.
How he never was.
His smile?
Yeah. How he never was, or if they offered it to him and he was like,
I don't know.
I don't think he could be. I don't think he has the range for a Joker, probably, but
maybe. But
the look
just
alone,
his smile is unreal. But can I say really quick, dumb thing, and you can cut if you want, but can there be a better example of the complexities of DNA and genetics than comparing Dennis Quaid and his brother Randy Quaid?
Yeah, or his son Jack.
Yeah.
From The Boys.
Yes.
Like, you can tell, like, there's genetics here.
Yes.
But differences between
apples,
him and Randy.
different trees. That, like, Cousin Eddie and Dennis Quaid, you go, wow.
Yeah.
These came from the same gene pool.
Right. Dennis
This is
Quaid
insane.
smiles at me, and I'm like, oh, that's nice. Randy
Yes.
Quaid smiles at me, I feel like I'm going to get raped.
Exactly. It's like,
yeah. It's creepy. It is
slowly
creepy.
walk away. So
Yes.
anyway.
I don't know if I have to bleep that. Do I have to bleep that?
No.
All right, we're good.
No.
Dozens of people will be offended.
Yeah, they'll, you know.
He's so, but
he's so.
Do you have another thing on Dennis Quaid or not?
No,
because if you haven't seen it, and a lot of people haven't, but Frequency came out in 1999 or 2000, and that's a Dennis Quaid movie that you have to watch. It's one of my all-time favorites. It's the cheesiest time travel
so absurd.
It's so absurd, and yet it works on every level. It's so good.
Yes.
That's my favorite Dennis Quaid movie.
The two of them talking through.
Yeah, that's my favorite Dennis Quaid movie. It's not a good movie, but it's my favorite Dennis Quaid movie. I love it.
That's a good one. I think
I have one other point about, but that's not Dennis Quaid. But yeah,
I'll just say a quick thing. I just love these early 2000 movies with the cordless phones.
Yeah.
And like tiny square monitor computers, and then listening to the game on a radio signal coming through a website.
Oh yeah,
like that.
Look at
just
us.
Hilarious.
Yep.
I love the like time stamp of these movies.
Amazing it is amazing how much we've come along for better and
like
worse.
Cordless phones and stuff. So anyway,
for better and worse, we've come a long way. This is nothing at all, but something that I really liked was the attention to detail. It's actually pretty good in this movie. There's not a lot that like kind of sort of gets overlooked in a sense, but the field, like they stay off of it for a couple weeks, and then the field comes back, and it's not perfect.
Exactly.
It's like it's patchy still. It's, you know what I mean, but they're still able to play on it, and it's taking, and then a few weeks later, it's a little bit better, and then they make the district championship, and it's, except for a patch in the main infield,
pretty
like,
lush.
it's actually pretty lush. And I'm like, well done. Like, they obviously grew the field for this. Like, I don't think they used multiple locations. They grew the field in this location.
Yes.
Which I guess probably could have been a trivia. Maybe it's a high school in West Texas who got a free field out of this.
Maybe.
All right, so that actually will bring us to our final segment, which is Quiz Show.
The exciting quiz program, 21.
Where we search for interesting or difficult trivia nuggets to stump the other. I guess I do have a couple. I assume you have a couple.
I do.
Usually you
I
have
have
a couple. So I wrote down like skeleton trivia questions, like sort of like, oh, this could be one. This could be one. So why don't you start first, and I can then sort of work out how I'm going to word.
If it's trivia about skeletons, I'll be sorely disappointed.
No, I meant skeleton is like thinly worded out.
Carter Burwell, like we talked about, the composer, wrote the score for The Rookie. In addition to almost 90 films in his career so far, he's received 2 Academy Award Best Score nominations for the films Carol and 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri. Yet in his long-standing collaborations with the same director, which is likely his biggest claim to fame, he's scored all but 2 of their films. Can you name these directing brothers who are natives of St. Louis Park, Minnesota?
Yeah, the Coen brothers.
That's right.
Right, yeah.
Yep.
I was like, because he's done
everything except for Oh Brother, Where Art Thou and Inside Llewyn Davis or whatever. Because it's all music kind of thing. But
hey, speaking of Oh Brother, Where Art Thou, there is a connection in this movie.
Oh, the store owner.
The store owner, yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Not a trivia question.
That's a good one.
So, yeah. So, there we go.
There you go. You got it.
I got it.
By the way, his score for Fargo, incredible.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think that's what's so interesting to me about Carter Burwell. If you were to listen to this score, you would think it's his first score because it's so simple.
Yep.
It's just like, I don't know, my kid's taking recorder at school, so let's just do that. And I know it's flute, but you get my point. Like, it's so simple. I guess I really only have one. As we all know, currently, thanks to the geopolitical issues going around the world, gas prices are averaging $4.39.
Sure.
$7 in California, $9 in Germany, all this other stuff. Did you happen to catch how much gas was in this movie?
Oh, I didn't even, like $1.50.
It was $1.09 in West Texas in 2002. That's a kick in the junk.
What a glorious time it was.
People, I remember like when we started driving, gas was under $1.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, like, no, it was under $1. And I start pointing to movies like this, and I'm like, if it's $1.09,
yes,
in 2002 or 2001 when they filmed it, in 1998, 99 or whatever, it would have been cheaper than that. So yeah,
I didn't get that's good. Quaid's wife is played by Rachel Griffiths.
Really good in this movie. I'm not a huge fan of her, but I enjoy her in this movie.
Yeah, she's fine.
Yep.
She's known for her roles in the television series 6 Feet Under and Brothers and Sisters, among many film roles such as Muriel's Wedding, My Best Friend's Wedding, and as we watched last year, Below.
There you go.
She also starred in a 2016 movie directed by the star of the other film we discussed tonight in our other HH episode. Happy I like that acronym. I read it. Yeah. A film which was nominated for Best Picture, Director, and Actor, among other 3 categories. Can you name the film in which she stars as the mother to the conscientious objector protagonist?
I wonder.
I'm gonna lay it out there for you.
Maybe. Oh, jeez. Did we talk about it earlier?
I know. Once we talk about curses.
Geez. Yeah, Hacksaw Ridge.
That's right. I totally forgot she was the mother in that. Yeah. So yeah, with Hugo Weaving as the father. So, yep. Nice little connection. I was like, oh, that's serendipitous that we cover all those.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of crossover between our movies that we've done. And this is our 41st movie. Yeah, because Star Wars was 39.
That's right.
This is our 41st movie.
Boom.
So that's actually going to bring us to the end of our episode. Stay tuned to our next month where we will be covering Bourne Identity. I actually can't remember what the happy hour is next month, so we'll figure it out. You want to guess? I got it right here.
I want to say Reign of Fire.
It's in the beginning of this one. It is Insomnia.
Oh my gosh, are you serious?
Yeah. So I don't know why that's a happy hour. Maybe we'll flip those around. We'll discuss this off camera.
Nah, but I think that's
we're good.
Well, we can watch it together. And
then we could. All right. So we'll be covering Bourne Identity and Insomnia next month. We want to say thank you for taking the time to listen and for clicking that like or subscribe button on your devices. Find us on Twitter at years_beers and on Facebook, or head to 20years4beers.com. This has been 20 Years 4 Beers. My name is Steve.
I'm Tim.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks.
What are you? If this didn't happen in real life, this would be so stupid.
He's so gleeful. You snobby son of a bitch.
Do it, Doug.